What's up, everybody? All right, guys, so now we are doing my top 50 baseball cards as of December 2020 from number 50 to number 1. If you guys want to check out 100 to 51, I will put a link below. But just going to go ahead and just to repeat, these I'm basing it based on the value of the card, and I'll try to put the value of the card below so you guys can get an idea. But it's based on that particular card, recent sales. I'm doing it based on vintage card prices. There's a site, sometimes referred to as VCP. They have the latest sold on that particular card. And then if it's not available in VCP, which sometimes can be the case, especially with modern cards, I'm providing, I go based on the eBay value. And then if the eBay value is not available, then sometimes I have to kind of, go with, what I think is the right price for the card. So, at number 50, without further ado, is the 55 Topps Sandy Koufax rookie card. I remember buying this at the Atlantic City National about 4 years ago now. And this card has since tripled in value. Just to give you guys an idea of how crazy baseball cards have been over the last couple of years. This card has tripled, and it's, just a 3.5, nothing too crazy. I ended up buying this ungraded and submitted it and came back as a 3.5. Beautiful card of one of the greats from the 50s, Sandy Koufax. At number 49, I was actually surprised that this made the list. This is the Miguel ANDUJAR at number 49. This is in a PSA 10. It is numbered to 150. Really cool card. I don't know what's going to happen with my boy ANDUJAR at this point. Hoping that he can find a place with the Yankees in 2020. And who knows, maybe it'd be good for him to, get traded at this point. Maybe get some more at-bats. But got this at number 49. Okay, at number 48 is this really cool, I just picked this card up recently, the 2017 Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition Aaron Judge. This was one of those cards, like I've been really big on the Sapphire cards, and this was like one of the final cards that I needed to pick up, well, at least in my head, needed to pick up of the Sapphire Edition. I do want to pick up the BOWMAN. That would be one of the cards I'd like to pick up from the 2020 Sapphire Edition. So that's at number 48. At number 47 is this Bob Gibson rookie, another card that I picked up this year. The 59 Topps Bob Gibson, who recently passed away. This is in a PSA 6. Okay, next one at number 46 is this PSA 7 of Willie Mays, 1966 Topps. Beautiful card. I picked this up. Another card that I picked up ungraded at the White Plains show in New York. Sent it in, and it came back as a 7. At number 45, this is the Cy Young. I mentioned this card. Buying the card and not the grade. This is obviously a SGC 1, so it's like almost as low as it can go. Authentic would, I guess, be lower, but the reason why it's a 1 is the paper loss on the back, but from the front, looks fantastic, especially for a 1. At number 44, the Rube Waddell, PSA 4. Fantastic pictures, fantastic pitchers from the 1910s. Outdueled Cy Young at one point. Used to do cartwheels on his way to the mound. If you guys don't know about Rube Waddell, look him up. This was a card that I picked up at the Chicago National last year. Sort of towards the end of the National, decided to pick this card up. And along with the Cap Anson, which will be much further down the list, or much further up the list, depending on how you look at it. But this is the Rube Waddell in a PSA 4. Next up is the Aaron Judge 2013 Bowman Chrome Auto. This is at number 43. When I did a video about a year and a half ago, top 50 cards, this was ranked number 22, so it's down 21 spots to number 43. But absolutely love this card. Watched Aaron Judge hit a bunch of home runs. I think it was against the Orioles in one particular game. And then I went ahead and picked this card up and then got it graded and came back as a 10. Next up is this Mike Trout. This card in a PSA 10, I think recently went for as high as $1,500. So I put it at $1,000 because it is Beckett graded, and it is a 9.5. The centering on it is a 9, so not sure if it would get a PSA 10, but you can see here, numbered to 99. Kind of surprising that this card would be this high up the list and that it would go for $1,500 in a PSA 10. But I decided to put it at number 42 on my list. Number 41 is a card that I got in a box of Sapphire late last year, in a box of 2019 Chrome Sapphire. And this is the purple refractor of Eloy Jimenez, number 2 of 10, and it came back as a PSA 10. Again, another card, there are literally no sales of a PSA 10 purple refractor, so I kind of had to put it somewhere, and I felt like it fit in nicely at number 41. All right, so at number 40 is this 76 Topps Walter Payton rookie in a PSA 8. Bought this, I featured this in my Buy the Card, Not the Grade video, and absolutely love this. I've been venturing a little bit outside of baseball, you know, to some other sports, getting the GOATs and all that stuff, and I just, you know, this is one of those vintage cards that I always wanted to get my hands on, and of course, tried to get it in a nice grade that I thought looked really nice, nicely centered, and this one, the Walter Payton 76 Topps rookie in a PSA 8 at number 40. At number 39 is the great one, Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 6. This is the Topps version. Would love to pick up the OPC. We'll have to settle for the Topps version for now. At number 38, I remember I bought this. I was doing a video on the best card I had of Topps from every year from 1952 all the way to 2020, and I didn't have a single card from the 74 Topps set for some reason. It was just so random, and so I was like, well, I guess I got to go out and get myself a 74 Topps card, and figured why not get the Dave Winfield rookie in a PSA 9 while I was at it. So picked this up this year. I think it was this year, or maybe it been, I don't know, either late last year or early this year. Absolutely love this card. Dave Winfield rookie card. Let's see. At number 37, this is the 39 Playball Joe DiMaggio. When I first started doing videos on YouTube, I think it was like 6 years ago now, maybe over 6 years, this was my number 1 card. And so now it is my number 37th card. So it's pretty amazing to, you know, that's how much I've added to the collection since over the last 6.5 years, that this went from number 1 to number 37. But just keep adding to the collection, and that's sort of the fun of it. So, and a beautiful picture of Joe DiMaggio there. All right, at number 36 is this Roger Clemens in a PSA 10. This definitely shouldn't be ahead of Joe DiMaggio, but it is. It's just, again, I'm basing this purely on value and not based on like any opinions, just based on recently sold listings. So the 84 Fleer Update Roger Clemens in a PSA 10 is next. Next up at number, let's see, 35. This is one of those cards that is very hard to kind of figure out where it should fall, because I could see it going much higher up on the list. This is one of those cards, again, that I've mentioned many times, that Houdini, he has a channel, does a lot of stuff with Phil's polls. You know, you guys know Phil Hughes, and he always features this. I think the name of his channel is now Cheap Fun Breaks. Whenever he does a video, he always does an intro with this card, because he's actually the one that pulled it. And it's just cool that this is in the beginning of the video. And I saw it one day on eBay, had to get it. This is obviously the 1/1 Superfractor. I have no idea what a card like this would go for. I probably wouldn't sell it, so it doesn't really matter. But this is the 1/1. All right, at number 34 is the 55 Topps Roberto Clemente in a 3.5. Bought this because, again, I thought it was really nicely centered. I liked the look of it. The 55 tops Clemente is a very hard card to get nicely centered, so I paid a little extra for this one, probably overpaid for it in hindsight. 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. In a PSA 10 is next. Can't believe how much this card is going for now in a PSA 10. It's kind of crazy. All right, next up is at number 32. This is my most recent pickup. I have not added anything since this 82 Wrestling card of Hulk Hogan. Absolutely love this card. It's one of those cards that if there's a card that I think will go up a lot over the next couple of years, I'd probably put this at the top of the list. This card has everything. It has, it's an iconic image. If you guys are into wrestling, if you remember, wrestling, he's the GOAT of wrestling. I think pretty much everyone agrees that this is the card for wrestling. There's an incredibly limited supply of these cards. Like the pop on this particular card in any grade by PSA is under 100, which is crazy. So it has a little bit of everything. And, if people continue to venture out of into other sports like wrestling and soccer and blah, 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 I could see this hell of an analysis by me, blah, blah, blah. All right. And at number 31 is the 52 Bowman Mickey Mantle in a 3.5. Love this card. Look at that card in a 3.5. SGC, a great alternative if you cannot afford the 51 Bowman or the 52 Topps Mantle, is to go after the 52 Bowman Mantle. Beautiful, beautiful card. All right, guys, so at number 30 is the Tony Gwynn rookie, the 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie. Got this in a PSA 10. Definitely love this card from the 80s. At number 29 is this card, a card that I picked up earlier in the year. Probably got a little caught up in the hype train of this card. I didn't even know that this card even existed. It's so cool. I mean, look at that. A little bit bigger than your usual card. The fact that it was a year before the 86 Fleer card, I was like, wow, I didn't even know this card existed. And I needed to get my hands on it. I tried to get it in a PSA 10, but the card just kept going up and up and up. So I ended up getting it in a PSA 9. But really love this card. At number 28 is this 69 Topps Reggie Jackson. Got this in a PSA 8. This was one of those cards that for the longest time was on my wish list. Kind of like the Nolan Ryan rookie. Just for whatever reason, had never been able to pick it up, and was able to finally scoop it up earlier in the year. Next up, I believe at number 27, this is the 35 Goudey Ruth McManus Brandt Marinville. So cool to see, well, cool or not cool, depending on how you look at it. Babe Ruth with the Boston Braves. So weird that he actually played for the Boston Braves at one point in his career. It's really kind of terrible when you look back at history and the way that baseball treated Babe Ruth, towards the twilight of his career, and, him wanting to manage and that whole story. But really cool. 35 4-in-1 Goudey. Next up, let's see, what are we at? Number 26 is the Fernando Tatis Sapphire in a PSA 10. Another card that I kind of got caught up in the hype train a little bit. Tatis, his cards were just going crazy towards the end of the season. It looked like he might win the MVP, and I got kind of caught up in that. But still a really awesome card that I think has a huge potential to grow. At number 25 is the Ty Cobb. This is an SGC 1.5. Great centering on this card, but obviously got a big crease in the middle of it. Would love to upgrade this at some point. It's something I've kind of kept my eye on, but with all the other cards, there's like my wish list of cards that I want is like, it's like pages long. So it's hard, but it's hard to go after this card when I have other cards that I don't even own that are up on my wish list. But love this card in an SGC 1.5. Here is a card that I have no idea where to put. I'm not a big fan of authentic cards anymore, mainly because it's hard to know what the value of it is, because all authentic cards are, especially when it comes to pricing, you don't know where to put it, because there are authentic versions of this card that are a total train wreck. And then there's beautiful versions like this one that are just, I guess a little bit altered. I can't even tell what's altered about it. I think it was some sort of, somebody might have trimmed it over here a little bit. But a beautiful, beautiful card. One of my favorite sets. This card was made in 1888, if you can believe that. All right. At number 23 is the card that I picked up. It feels like centuries ago. Earlier in the year, I met up with Brian B. Roth 6, and in the city, if you could believe that, without a mask. Met him up and purchased this card early on in 2020. This is the Jeter Topps Gold card. Since then, this card's gone way up. I think a lot of people, rediscovering the hobby, are familiar with Jeter. They like the fact that it's Topps, like gold cards. Who knows? I can't figure out the hobby. Next up is number 22 is the Jordan rookie, the 86 Fleer Jordan in a PSA 6. Love this card. And at number 21 is the 84 Donruss Don Mattingly. Now, the crazy thing about this, I saw this earlier. Let's see. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. So this card was, right now I have this as my 21, ranked 21st. When I did a video of my top 50 cards a year and a half ago, this one was ranked 23rd. So it's actually up 2 spots. With all the cards that I've added to my collection since then, this card is actually up 2 spots. It's not down, it's actually up. So that is crazy for it to be up 2 spots with all the cards that I've added to my collection since then. People loving, people getting back into the hobby are all about, the cards that they grew up with as a kid. And not surprisingly, that's caused this card to go way up in value. All right, guys, at number 20, we were at the number 20 in my collection, the 89 Topps Traded Tiffany Griffey. Look at that. That's a beauty. I love this card. Just, for those of you guys that grew up in the 80s and early 90s collecting like I did, there's nothing bigger than this, the Tiffany version of the Ken Griffey Jr. and a PSA 10. Just a beautiful card. Picked this up earlier in the year. At number 19, the 54 Topps Hank Aaron, one of those cards that just becoming just such an iconic, beautiful card. A must-have, even in a low grade, for those of you that like to collect sort of the high-end stuff, the high-ender. The high-ender stuff. 54 Topps Hank Aaron rookie. Oh, and then number 18, I feel like these kind of go hand in hand, which is nice. At number 19, the Hank Aaron rookie, and then number 18, the Willie Mays rookie. And this one is in a PSA 3. At number 17, right, we're at 17, I think. Yeah, 17 is the 56 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 7. This is probably, top 5 favorite cards of all time for me. The 56 Topps Mickey Mantle. Love to know if you guys agree. I just think it's such an awesome shot of Mick. Number 16, the LeBron James. This card was just going crazy earlier in the year and has come crashing back down, which I'm fine with. It's almost at the price that I paid for it at this point. I think it's up still a little bit. Well, actually, it's still up by like $1,000 versus what I bought it at. But and the crazy thing is, it's gone way up and then come crashing back down. And that was while LeBron James won a championship with the Lakers. All right, at number 15 is this 84 Topps Tiffany Mattingly and a PSA 10. As a Mattingly fan, this is probably one of my favorite cards in my collection. And really, really love, this is one of those cards I just grew up with, with Mattingly. And it's so cool to have the Tiffany version in a 10. Next up at number 14, the Ronald Acuna Sapphire Edition, PSA 10. This is the card to own, you know, in terms of the Sapphire edition. Obviously, you could own I think there's some other parallel versions, but this is the card for Sapphire. You could argue it's the Fernando Tatis, but for me, this card from the 2018 edition is the coolest image that you can get out there. Now, there's no Juan Soto Sapphire, so it's either the Tatis or the Ronald Acuna, or, you know, who knows, maybe it's the Judge, but for me, this is the card to own from Sapphire, if you guys are into Sapphire, which I am, obviously. At number 13 is this Lou Gehrig rookie. It's funny to go from, like, a Sapphire card to the Lou Gehrig rookie, SGC4. Of course, I'm sure there are other Lou Gehrig cards, but this is the main card, the 33 Goudey Gehrig in an SGC4. Love this card. Number 4 for the Yankees, Walter Johnson, the greatest pitcher of all time. This is the T206 in a PSA 4. And if you disagree with me, just look up his numbers and you will recant whatever you were about to say. Walter Johnson in a PSA 4. And then at number 11, the 49 Bowman Jackie Robinson, one of my favorite cards in my collection. This 49 Bowman Jackie Robinson in the PSA 4. Look at that. Just absolutely beautiful. Love it. All right, guys, and the top 10 cards in my collection. Hopefully you are mentally prepared. Although, if you watch my channel, you've seen all these cards a bunch of times already. So, at number 10 is this Babe Ruth 48-49 Leaf Babe Ruth in an SGC 6. Picked this up this year. Showed it off many times on this channel. And probably will go down as my favorite pickup of 2020. The Babe Ruth 48-49 Leaf in an SGC 6. Look at that card. It's pretty much perfect. It's pretty much a perfect card, yeah. At number 9, this is a card that I think I picked up right before I did my top 50 video last time, about a year and a half ago. This was at number 5. Now it's down to number 9, and that is the 59 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 8. So cool to just say that I own a Mickey Mantle card from the 50s in an near mint 8. And if you look at this card, you could definitely see why it's an 8. I mean, just look at it. Just these two cards alone. Look at that. Two like cards that, you know, with a little bit of distance, look like they could be gem mint 10s. At number 8 is the 2000 Bowman Chrome Peyton Manning in a PSA 10. This was one of those cards, just perfect timing in terms of when I picked it up earlier in the year. Got this card for $1,800 earlier this year and went way up. And then it came down a lot since then, but still way up versus where I bought it. And I bought it at the bottom. I think I might have bought it at the lowest it's been. Anyone has purchased this card all year long. The 2020 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady in a PSA 10. Number 7, the Derek Jeter, 93. Another great card that just great timing in terms of when I bought it. I bought this right after Jeter had gotten into the Hall of Fame, and there was a little bit of, you know, people were not as excited, I guess, about Jeter, you know, after he had been in the Hall of Fame, and they were like, okay, and they already moved on to something else, and that's sort of when I bought this card. It was like right in the beginning of the pandemic too, and I think people were just kind of freaking out, didn't know what was going to happen with baseball cards. I just kept buying during the whole time. So I was like, all right, you know, like we may all go bankrupt, but that's fine. I'll just keep buying. 93 SP Jeter and a PSA 9. Next up at number 6, and the next 6 cards, not much has changed in terms of, you know, between when I did my last video, but here we go at number 6. This was at number 6 the last time I did the video, and it's still number 6. The 33 Goudey Babe Ruth and a PSA 3. Just a beauty. I've been trying to. I want to add another 33 Goudey to the collection. Don't know if and when I'll ever do it. Every time I try to bid on a Goudey Ruth, I get outbid by like a lot. I lose by a lot. Like I try to, you know, bid on it, and then somebody comes over the top by like $3,000 to $4,000 and just destroys my bid. 51 Bowman Mickey Mantle at number 5. Let's see, was this? Yeah, this one I had at number 4. Now it's at number 5, so it's down 1 spot. And it's down 1 spot because this card is up 1 spot, the Trout. And again, guys, you know, before you get mad at me and say, you know, this one should be ahead of this one, this ranking is purely based on latest sales. So for some, you know, for whatever reason, and this was based on vintage card prices, so, you know, and it'll depend on the day. Like there'll be one day where this card will be worth more than this and whatever. So anyway, that's how I have those 2 cards at number 5 and number 4. Number 3, I have the Goodwin Champions Cap Anson and a PSA 5. I thought about doing a video of my favorite cards in my collection and was going to put this at number 1. This is probably my favorite card in my collection. If I really were to kind of, you know, gun to the head, like try to get, you know, what is my favorite card in my collection, I'd probably go with this card. This is a card that I bought at the National in Chicago last year and just absolutely love it. At number 2, the coolest card that I own in my collection, just awesome to be, you know, to own the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle, even if it was like a version that was smashed on the floor and somebody ripped it in half, I'd be happy to own it. So at number 2, a year and a half ago, and still number 2, and absolutely love owning the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle. And of course, at number 1, and again, this hasn't changed, the 2009 Bowman Chrome Mike Trout in a PSA 10. This card, what was it, earlier in the year, the SUPERFRACTOR sold for over $3 million. Was it $3.9 million or something crazy? Obviously, this is not the SUPERFRACTOR, but still so cool. I mean, has this now become the card when it comes to, you know, baseball cards? I mean, it's the SUPERFRACTOR sold for more than any 52 Topps Mantle, any Honus Wagner, so whatever, however you want to rank it. And who knows, this, you know, this may not be number 1 in a couple years. Maybe it's one of these cards or a card that I don't own yet. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I love doing this. I love going through, you know, some of my best cards. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Hopefully you continue on this journey with me as I continue to add to the collection. And thanks for watching, everybody. I will talk to you later. Peace.